Welcome to the home of British Motorsport. We're here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix round 10 of the season of the 2018 OC. The 13th time we've been here at Silverstone, the 6th of 9 tracks have been on the OC calendar since it started. The track, like many in the UK, built on an old World War II airfield. The circuit situated actually in two counties, the national layout being located in Northamptonshire and the international layout which is in Buckinghamshire. We've had 5 teams winning here over the past 13 seasons, with Ferrari interestingly being the team that has won here the most, funnily enough. Previous 3 winners here have been Woolner in 2015, Miklos Gau in 2016 and Florian Volker winning here in 2017. This year, can it be that another British driver can win? We've certainly got an abundance of talent that could do it. Now the circuit length of course, 5.891 kilometres, 52 laps, quite short actually for this length of circuit. 18 corners, lap record set by Florian Volker actually last season, a 129.250. So that is the information about the circuit. Now we're going to take a look at the tyres that we'll be using, and it will be the super soft tyres. And the driver of the day from last time out was Evan Byrne for a very impressive 5th place performance. So there we go, with the race rating of course of 6.5 out of 10. But anyway, here is the starting grid for the British Grand Prix, and the good news for the Brits, it's the 2 British drivers for Ferrari, Amar Carr and Joseph Williams, that are on the front row of the grid. On row 2 is the 2 Mercedes of Franco Lopez and Florian Volker for Mercedes. On row 3 of the grid we have Franco Gamba, an unbelievable performance by him in the Haas, ahead of Joel Hutter in 6th for Red Bull. On the 4th row of the grid, 7th and 8th, we have Miklos Gau for Red Bull and Evan Byrne 8th for Renault. On row 5 of the grid, 9th and 10th, we have George Roque for Haas and Gabriel Gomes for Sauber. On the next row, row 6 of the grid, 11th and 12th, we have Kairos Medeiros for McLaren and Jay McKenzie for Renault. That's 11th and 12th. On row 7 of the grid, 13th and 14th, we have Roberta Gamba and Laura Chung for McLaren and Toro Rosso respectively. Row 8 of the grid, Roland Moitin and Tyrrell Tiranen, both Force India drivers. They're not the season, they haven't really had actually as good a season as I think many people necessarily expected them to. On row 9 we have Enis Barachki for Toro Rosso and Paolino Tomaselli 18th for Sauber. On the 10th row of the grid we have Lean Campana for Williams and Felix Sontag for Williams. The 2 Williams on row 10 of the grid, and on the last row of the grid we have the 2 Manners of Etienne Jones and Maxime Titkoff. So that is the grid for the British Grand Prix. Weather-wise, it is going to be a wet one. I don't think I've ever seen it being wet at Silverstone before, ever. But 58% chance of rain. So the question is it going to be wet at the start? The answer is no, it isn't. So it is not wet at the start of this race. This is going to be very interesting indeed, as the wet conditions will come into play at Silverstone, as we now have 5 lights coming on for the British Grand Prix. As the 5 lights are now on, who is going to lead? The 5 lights are on, and it's a very, very long hold, and finally they're out. And it looks like Carr has made a pretty good start. I don't think Willows has got a particularly great jump off the line, but Carr has shot away. He's made an excellent start as he leads into the first corner. And Willows could be swamped by the Mercedes. He's been swamped by one. Lopez has got past, and Franco Gamba's made a great start. He's up in a 4th position. Look at that as they head through the hairpin part of the circuit. The new section of track added, not necessarily popular with everyone, but still, as you look through all the cars coming through, and it looks like as they come on to the hangar straight, it looks like everyone has kept it clean so far, which is surprising because normally at Silverstone there's always a collision at the start somewhere. But Volker has not made a good start, unfortunately, as it's side by side. I think De Rossa's trying to get a move on the inside there of the Renault, and I think he made it stick. And as we look through the rest of the field, it's a clean start by everyone. We have got through without any collisions so far. But now here's Willows all over the back of Lopez, trying to make that position that he lost at the start. Can he make it through? No, he can't. And so he's going to have to wait until the pack straight, but of course he's not going to make it through Maggots and Beckett's. This is not a place to overtake, and if you lose momentum then it's going to leave you hung and dry on the back straight, as Willows is now right behind over. So look at that, Franco Gamba's in the slipstream as well. I wonder if he could try and make an overtake. He's actually closer to Willows than Willows is to Lopez, but Gamba's going to try and make it, but he can't make it stick. He's now going to try and swap to the inside. Willows is now on the inside, but Gamba's going to try and go for it, and he's through. He's past Willows. Can he get past Lopez? And the answer is no, he can't. But what a start by Franco Gamba. He's up into P3. I bet he wasn't expecting this, but wow, Franco Gamba took advantage. You could just see that was going to happen as well, because Willows was trying desperately to get past Lopez, and I don't think he realised that he was there. And Gamba said thank you very much, and is now up into 3rd position. So what a start by the Italian driver. Now here is Titkoff, who's in 21st, and this is a battle between Tomaselli in front of him. They've really slowed each other down coming around the final corner there, but fortunately no damage has been done. So we're looking to tick off right now in 21st, Jones in 22nd at the bottom of the field. Franco Gamma still, he's just about hanging on to the back of the Mercedes in front of him, of Lopez. So as they come down the back straight, heading towards Luffield. So as they come through, and it looks like he's just about getting away, Lopez. He's got enough of a gap, it seems. And as they come through past the National pit straight, the old pit straight, and Willows is definitely on the back of Gamba. I wonder if he is going to try and make a move here. This is going to be very interesting to see if he does. Willows is right behind. He's going to have a go for it on the inside. Is he going to make it stick? He's just about alongside, but no, he fails to. And so he's going to have to wait, and now that's going to allow Joel Hutter behind a chance to make the move. So we are looking at Volker, who's in 5th, coming through Mags and Beggars, just about hanging on to the back of them as they come onto the Hangar Straight. And this is, of course, the Hangar Straight, and the other straight is the Wellington Straight, so I got the two a little bit mixed up there. But anyway, here is Hutter. He's all over the back of Volker. He's not going to make it through there, and so he's going to go try and attempt to go around the outside, but it's never going to work coming through Stowe as they head towards the end of the second lap. It's been pretty clean so far. Everyone is still going. There's been no damage. As it's side by side there, Campana and Sontag. As Sontag, I think, has just gone around the outside of his teammate there at Stowe. You don't see that very often. So here we are on board with a German behind the American, and he goes around the outside of Campana, who's not giving him just about enough room, you can say. But Sontag actually went around the outside. You don't see that very often. But good racing there between the two Williams. But that could have ended up badly. Fortunately, it didn't, and they continue on. Look how close they were as they come around in slow motion. Sontag managed to just sneak around the outside. They gave each other room, so that was a good move. Fair play to Sontag, and good racing by Campana as well. There's a battle behind as well. As we look at Willers now, once again on the back of Franco Gamba, coming into Stowe, and he's just not quite close enough. He's in the slipstream, but just can't quite make it stick there. Now here's Volker, tried to defend from Hutter, but I think Hutter is through up into P5, and yes he is. He makes the move up into the top 5 position. So Volker, I think he's on heavy fuel, so he is struggling so far. Now here we are, the battle once again between Willows and Gamba still going on. So Lopez has managed to increase the gap ahead of him, which is good, of course. And as Willows is going to try what's going on the inside, and Gamba's off, and Gamba goes wide, and that allows Hutter to get through up into P4. So it was a great defence at the start by Franco Gamba, and unfortunately I think he just made a mistake on his own there, coming through. And you can see, yep, goes wide off the line and then goes off the circuit. He's lucky, actually, that he didn't spin, because you do see a number of cars spinning coming round Copse. But fortunately, no harm was done. The only thing he's done is lost 2 positions. And, I mean, it could have been actually bad if he'd come in right in front of Hutter there. But fortunately, he didn't. And actually, Volker snuck through as well. And will Gal sneak through? Okay, so it's actually worse than I thought for Gamba, unfortunately. So he drops another couple of positions there. I thought he had enough momentum, but I guess not. But Gamba now trying to make one of the positions back on the back of the Hungarian of Gal, coming onto the Hangar Straight. I'm still getting the two mixed up, and Gamba, look at that, he just goes around the outside and actually gets in even before he goes around the corner. That is quite something there. The Gamba just managed to do that to a Red Bull, as Gal's not going to be too happy with that, as Gamba defends and manages to keep the position there, but whew, that was quite something. Now here is the battle. This is for P2. Willis has caught up to the back of Lopez now that he's free of Gamba, but he's got to be careful because Hutter's there. Willis has gone extremely wide and allowed Hutter to just take the position there. A bad mistake, and now Hutter is going to try on Franco Lopez. The good news, of course, is that this is helping Carr out front, who has got a very comfortable lead. I'm not sure what the gap is, but next time around we'll probably see it. But it is very comfortable at the moment as we're looking at Franco Gamba, who is now actually closing back up to Volker in front of him. So it looks like he'll certainly get a top 5 as we have a yellow flag on circuit. Oh, and De Rossa is around. And De Rossa is around there, and that is a very dangerous position to be, as all the cars are just about avoiding him. He's just off the racing line enough so that he doesn't get hit coming around Stowe, but Stowe is one of the most infamous places on the circuit where there always seems to be collisions. So here we are looking, this was, there was a collision with him and the Renault of Mackenzie, and Mackenzie managed to get through without any damage, but Mackenzie was getting through there whether he liked it or not, and you could just see unfortunately that was going to come, and actually there was technically 2 bits of contact there. That was enough to spin around. So Gabriel Gomez is in, and this is a scheduled stop actually. Sontag is in as well. But of course, let's not forget the weather is going to have an impact on this race. As Hutter's actually once again on the back of Lopez, so the rain is going to be coming pretty soon, I would imagine. We've been 11 laps, although it might come a little bit later. But anyway, here's Hutter on the back of Lopez. Is he going to make the move here? The answer is no, he can't make it into Copse. Now, coming through Magazine Beggars, just needs to stay behind and have a good run coming onto the back straight so that he can have a chance to make a move coming down the Hanger Straight into Stowe. And so Hutter is right on the back of Lopez. He's got a good run here. This is his chance, but he's got to be careful because Willers is still there and can still take an advantage if he messes it up. So here we go. Hutter's going to try and make a move on the inside. Here we go. He's on the inside. And is he going to make it stick? The answer is no. Actually, Lopez just about holds on. But of course, Willers is there now. Actually, I could just see Carr in the distance. He's actually not as far ahead as I thought he was. And I thought he would because Lopez does not seem to be particularly quick. Now here's Gamba and Volker once again battling. I think Volker got a bad run coming out of there. And oh, there's contact! And Gamba's around. I think Volker's got away with it, but Gamba has spun and is going to lose a number of positions here. He goes now down behind the Renault. Oh, and he loses his wing over the curb, and he is going somewhere in the grass. Roke's actually moved up another position, but Volker has stayed ahead of Gal, but Gamba, unfortunately, is going to try and go back into the pits. He would have been better just continuing on the circuit, although he would have lost an absolute ton of time. But unfortunately, you can see Volker actually got a terrible run coming out of Stowe there, and Gamba tried to make the move on the inside. I don't think it was really on, and unfortunately he has paid the price for that, and that means that Gamba, well, yeah, I don't think he's going to get any points today. If he does, it'll be a miracle. But of course, going over that big curb there, ensuring that he loses his front wing, and I don't know if he actually made it back into the pits or not. No, he's still there. He is still there, as the other Sauber of Tomaselli is in as well. So Gamba's going to wait until the other two cars go, and then finally he's going to make his way into the pits. As there's Gomez now on the back of the two Manners. Now here is Gamba, who is going to attempt to go back into the pits as he goes. Oh no! Oh no! Wow, that is a terrible, terrible rejoin. And amazingly, Sontag's car is still intact, funnily enough, whereas Gamba's is completely destroyed. And well, I mean, that was just ridiculous from Franco Gamba there. Probably one of the worst rejoins I have ever seen. And Sontag was just minding his own business, and then just sees this car just come across the track, and then just goes right into him. I mean, he's coming through, and then coming into Vale, and then suddenly he sees this Haas coming, and unfortunately Sontag was never going to get out of the way in time, right in front of him, and somehow Sontag's car is still intact. Well, he's missing the front wing, but still completely obliterates the back of Franco Gamba's car there. And I wonder if Sontag did actually make it into the pits, because we've seen some interesting pit entries before, and the answer is yes, he does. So Sontag will continue in this race, albeit plumb last. But I really don't know what Franco Gamba was thinking there. It was, as I said, it's probably the worst rejoin I think I've ever seen. There's no beating around the bush. So he just rejoins. He thinks, oh yeah, perfect. There's no cars coming, and then as he goes across the track, and right there it is, completely destroys the car, and so that is Gamba out the race. And Felix Sontag, of course, is still going to be in the race, but he's going to be last. But the incident between the two, no surprise, under investigation. I would not be surprised if Franco Gamba gets a penalty for that. But here's Almacar, actually, who still has a pretty comfortable lead at this moment in time, as we're looking at Willers and Hutter still struggling to get past Franco Lopez. They can't get past the Argentinian yet, so here we go. They're going past the old pits, and surely Hutter's going to make a move on the inside coming into Copse. Is this the move? And still isn't. And now Willers is going to catch up. The run he's got off the corner, and Hutter's going to try it on the back of Lopez here, but now Willers might sneak through here. It's side by side, and Willers does get through around the outside there of Maggots, and then coming into Beckett's, and that is a great move by the Englishman, and that is going to please the crowd. But well, I suppose it's going to be pleasing that we have a Brit leading, but now Hutter's going to try and get back past Willers coming down the front straight, and is he going to make the move stick? Nope, he can't. He stays behind him once again. So they're still struggling to get past. I don't know how much more fuel that Lopez has got, but he's certainly not quicker. As we're looking through the rest of the order, there's Chong actually in 10th, who's just inside the points, and actually he's going to be pitting this lap, as a matter of fact. So as we look at Jones, who's trying to pass his teammate Titkoff, coming into Copse, and he tries to go for it, but fails. And now Gabriel Gomez is there, ready and waiting to take some positions here. Of course, it's all going to change once the rain comes. It's all fine and dandy at the moment, but just wait until the rain comes. Then everything is going to change. So anyway, Lopez once again under pressure from Willers, who's got a pretty good run as they come onto the Wellington straight. I don't know if he's quite close enough. I don't think he is, so he's got to wait, although Lopez does move across to the left, so he's going to get a bad run as they come through Luffield, or coming into Brooklands, and now into Luffield, right hand, and then coming on to the back straight, the old pit, the national pit straight. And Willows is still in the slipstream. Is he quite close enough to Lopez? He didn't get the best exit out the corner, but now here's Hutter, who's right behind as well. He's going to try and make a move, but Willows is going to try and make a move himself on Lopez, but fails yet again, and they will continue the cycle. So Willows is on the back of Lopez. He's actually a little bit closer this time, although Lopez gets a tiny bit away, which is going to be just about enough, unless Willows dives it down the inside. Here we go. Nope. He still can't do it. He really is struggling to get past, and no one can get past him. And actually, Hutter is going to be pitting this lap, so he's going to try and do, I would say, the undercut on both Willows, but especially on Lopez. Now, I'm not sure how much fuel Lopez does have, but at the moment, he's not quicker than Willows and and Hutter behind. So, as we're looking at Etienne Jones, who's in the pits, and I think he's changing his front wing, so something has happened to Etienne Jones. So what has happened to the Manor? As here we are looking at and oh, it was in the battle with Titkov, was it? Oh yes, and the battle has continued, and Jones was on the inside there, and oh no, and yeah, you could just see that was going to happen there. I just don't think they left each other enough room, and Titkov actually manages to somehow get away without spinning the car there. It's a pretty good save actually. But as we're looking at him coming through, I mean, you could just see what's going to happen. I think Titkov should have left maybe a little bit more room for Jones to come through there, and Titkov, he just about controls it. It was a good save actually, but unfortunately for both Manors, any chance of points is going down the drain with that, and so that's another collision at Stowe yet again. But still no retirements there yet due to crashes. But into the pits comes Joel Hutter now for his first stop of the race.
Okay, no pressure.
So let's see, still on the dry tyres at the moment.
First gear.
So it's going to be interesting to see. The rain obviously still hasn't come yet, but it's 16 laps, and the lap time's about 1:30. So it's meant to get heavier later on. So I reckon probably in a few laps' time, I think after lap 20 is when I think it's probably going to start. And then that's where all the fun is going to happen. So Hutter now comes out of the pits, but where is he going to come out on the circuits? He's in 7th. He's going to be, I think, 8th behind the Haas of Roke, I believe. And as we're looking at coming out, and yes, it will be behind the Haas of Roke, and I think the Renault as well. Now Franco Lopez comes in, so he actually wasn't fueled much higher than what Hutter was, but his pace just seemingly wasn't there. So this is going to be interesting. And as we look at Lopez come in, so the question is, of course, will he come out ahead of Hutter? And he might do, considering the fact that Hutter came out behind, it was Roke, and I believe it was Jay McKenzie. So
No pressure.
it is entirely possible that he could still come out ahead, but we'll see. And if he does, that will be unfortunate for Hutter, because he would have wanted to jump him. But we are going to find out very shortly as we look at Evan Byrne, who's coming onto the straight, and actually Mackenzie goes in. So Mackenzie's in, but Hutter's still stuck behind Roke. And I think Lopez might just about, I think, stay in front. I think he will, because Hutter is stuck behind Roke, so I think Lopez is going to stay in front as we look at them coming onto the straight. And yep, Lopez comes out the pits, and he has gained a lot actually. So for Hutter, it's unfortunately not worked. Getting stuck behind Roke and Mackenzie, he needed to come out ahead of them. He didn't, and unfortunately he's paid the price. As Roland Moitjen is going to be coming into the pits next lap as well. It's still all dry tyres at the moment, no sign of the rain yet, but the rain is going to come, so get your umbrellas ready, get your umbrellas and your rain jackets ready. But I mean, at Silverstone, there's never rain at Silverstone. I mean, definitely not. It's always dry. As we all know, the British weather is never unreliable. But we're looking at the two McLarens. They're battling for just outside the points here. Now here's Hutter trying to get past Roke. Roke really defending, not letting him through. As we look at Roland Moitjen now coming into the pits for his first stop of the race. And of course going, well, they'll be pitting sooner than the amount of fuel that they put into his car, and for everyone else as well. So he comes out of his pit box. Roberto Gamba is in, so everything is still going smoothly right now. It's been a relatively clean race so far, no issues at all. So well, I say no issues at all, but no huge problems. Now we're looking, and actually the track there, I did say it was about lap 20. The track there does look a little bit darker now, so I think the rain is now starting to come. So I wonder if the guys that have just pitted might pay the price for that, because it definitely looks a little bit damper the circuit as Moitjen is all over the back of the Toro Rosso, well, I say in front of the Toro Rosso of Enes Parachki there. A great move around the outside. Obviously, Parachki, I think, has not pitted yet, and seemingly struggling on these tyres, between the fact the track is getting a lot more slippy. Moitin just takes advantage there, but the track is getting damper now, so I wonder if we will see drivers starting to come onto the wet tyres soon. So De Rossi is in now. I wonder if they put him on the inters or the wets. So the answer is, oh, they put him on the wet tyres now. Okay, so now here we go. So De Rossi is on the wet tyres, and I think there's a crew out in front as well. So this is going to be very interesting indeed to see if this works out for De Rossi. There's another driver set to come in this lap as well. I don't know who it is, but that is going to start something. I'm not sure who it is. No, actually it's Titkoff, and actually Titkoff's got a problem, but this might actually... Oh, he's got an engine failure. He's got an engine failure, but he's going to come into the pits. So, okay. I guess that was for Titkoff, but he's come in with what is an engine problem. So, I guess they're going to fix it, maybe? We'll find out. So he comes in. The engine's still smoking out the back, but he's managed to make it in. So the question is, will the team do a miraculous job and save the engine? So he comes in. So they're still changing his tyres, and he goes on to wets. So, yeah, they fixed the problem. Look at that. So Titkoff comes out and cut in last, but that is weird. He was actually going to be pitting anyway, Titkoff, so he was going to come into the pits. He was scheduled to come in, but then he suffered that engine problem right there, coming past the old pits into Copse, and then around about there was when the engine blew, but he was at the pit entry there, so yeah, that was... you don't see that very often, that's for sure. But now Evan Byrne comes in. This is going to be for wet tyres. I'm surprised actually no one has come in for inters, really. Frankie Gamma has received a 5-place grid penalty for causing the incident with Sontag. I thought it would be a little bit harsher than that, to be honest, considering the fact that was a god-awful rejoin, but I guess not. But he still gets a penalty nonetheless. So Evan Byrne comes in. They're on to the wets. So as they change tyres. And there we go. So Byrne is out, and I think I saw a couple of cars coming in as well on the same lap. So Roke's still going around on the dries. I mean, it still looks, for the most part, dry, but of course it's still pretty damp. It's pretty slippery, but that some of these guys are going early, so I don't know if there are any other cars coming in. As here's Tomaselli, who's going past Roberto Gamba on the hanger straight, and he makes it through. And here's De Rossi, actually, who's on the wet tyres, so I wonder if he'll go past these guys quickly, because you can see the spray now starting to come out behind the cars. So De Rossi is seemingly keeping up with these guys in front, so I think it is probably the right decision. I thought I saw someone else was coming in. So Carr, actually, I think, who's still out front, is right now doing a pretty good job. There was another car coming in as well. It's actually Mikolas Gal who's coming in for a pit stop, so he's going to go onto the wet tyres as well. And, I mean, around that part of the circuit, the first sector, it's pretty dry, or slippy, but for the most part it is dry. But here's the battle between Laura Chung and Naoto, and this is for 9th position. And they've got to be careful now. Actually, here's Mackenzie right behind as well. So Roberto Gamba is still sticking behind these guys, so he clearly can keep up with the pace of the guys in front. So, but I thought they probably would have tried to maybe go on to the intermediate tyres. Maybe it's a little bit soon for the wets, but hey-ho. Carr is about to come in for his first stop. Gal is in already, so he'll go on to the wet tyres. So as he comes into the pits, and in he is, so he'll change onto the wets. And so far, actually, no one else coming into the pits or scheduled to come in on this lap. But I guess they're trying to wait as long as possible to then go on the wets, so they'll be as fresh as they can be. So Gal is in, changes all 4 tyres, and boom, out he goes. 7 seconds. So out of the pits he goes, and he's going to come out, I think, maybe about where Byrne is, actually. So Byrne actually is doing quite well on these wet tyres at the moment in time. Roke's still going around on these dries, which I don't really think are working, because Byrne, I think, is definitely closing the gap in front. So around about the pit straight, it's kind of dry. It's still dry on this bit of it, as there's no spray. But Roke's going to be coming in, I think, fairly soon anyway, to change onto the wet, so it could work out. I think the guys that are trying to stay out longer, it could work out for them, although Roke's gone very wide there, and Byrne is now right behind, so this could be the chance of Byrne to get through. So I think Roke is definitely struggling on those dry tyres, and yep, and Byrne, well, doesn't really tap Roke out the way. Roke makes a mistake, so Byrne makes his way through, and you can see that was going to happen. You can see Roke just struggling on these tyres, And it's obviously all about when they decide to pit. If they decide it's too wet, I mean, there wasn't any contact. I don't think it was very close. There was no nudge, I don't believe. And the answer is no, there wasn't. There was no nudge there, so they got away with it. So anyway, makes it through very easily. So he's up into 7th. Now here we are looking at the race leader Armakar, who now is coming into the pits this lap. This will of course be for the wet tyres. There's another car I think that's coming in as well. Lee Kapana actually is in, and oh, De Rossa is out, and De Rossa is out. And what has happened to him? He's had a collision with someone, and oh, it was just a late move down the inside by Gabriel Gomez, who's now going to have to go around the whole lap with a damaged wing. I don't really know what he was thinking there. The move was never really on. I mean, I think he'd been passed by De Rossa. And it's unfortunate for De Rossa because he was one of the first drivers to go onto the wet tyres. He was the guinea pig per se, and unfortunately for him, he's now out of the race. So the incident between those two will be under investigation, so we'll see what happens. So anyway, Carr is in the pits, Prachki is in as well, Campana is in, Roberto Gamba is in. So I think probably about half the field, I think by now, is now on the wet tyres. So as we look at Campana coming in, and he's about to change onto the wets. And the question is actually how much fuel do they put in? So obviously he'll be doing one more before the end. So Willows now takes the lead of this race. Jones is coming in. He was actually, look at how much fuel he had in his car, but he comes in and he changes onto the wets. So unfortunately it's not worked out for Jones either.
Okay, no
and
pressure.
there we go.
Just prepare yourself for the
So
first gear.
I'm pretty sure like most of the field is now on the wets. Actually, Volker and Hutter are both in as well. So I think Willows is one of the few drivers that actually isn't on the wets yet. But Lopez actually is still going around as well, surprisingly enough. But the question is, of course, the thing is, of course, it's going to be interesting now with most drivers on wets and some of the ones that are still out on dries. When they come out, they'll be on fresher wets. But of course, the weather, if you remember, it's meant to get heavier as the race goes on. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see. I think there'll definitely be one more stop, possibly two made. As we're looking at Chong battling, and there's Moishin coming down the inside. Moishin actually overtaking on the dry tyres there, and he's going to try and go past Chung as well. Oh, there's contact. There's contact there, and actually Chung was going in, so that was very close. And so is Mackenzie as well. A number of drivers going into the pits on the same lap. Chung is in, Mackenzie is in, and now Sheridan are in. So I don't know how many drivers, and actually Roke is in as well, just ahead. So I think that must be most of the drivers that are now on to wet tyres now. I think Lopez, if he's not in yet, he must be one of the last ones who isn't on wets. So Mackenzie now comes in, and there's going to be a lot of pit stop battles going on here. So Roke comes out ahead of this big gaggle of cars that came in. So now here's Chung changing onto the wets, and we'll see, does Mackenzie jump her? As Mackenzie actually has to wait for now Tyrion to go through, and Chung goes out. So I think that was pretty much stayed what it was before. So there we go. So no changes in that battle coming out of the pits. Pretty much all stayed the same. So actually, Rodemoich is still going around actually on the dry tyres. He must be one of the so Willis is still going. Actually, Sontag is still on the wets, but they're both coming in this lap. So Moichin's got to be the only car that's still yet to go onto the wet tyres, I think. So as we're looking at our car right now, running in second, Willows is now in for his stop. So the question is, will Carr now come out, will still be ahead of Willows, but of course Willows will catch up pretty quickly because he'll be on the wet tyres. So in he comes for his first stop, and there comes I think Sontag as well, who's in too. So he's on the wets, and of course we're making one more stop before the end. So I just wonder, obviously, if they'll have to make two depending on how much it rains, or it's going to be interesting, of course, how much fuel they put into each driver's car, because of course some of them will probably go longer, some of them will go shorter, but of course it is going to be heavier at the end of the race, so the track is going to be extremely wet. So I think if you pit later, you probably have, I say, more of a chance. But Willows comes out behind Carr, who is leading, but is all over the place. He's just lapped, I think that was the manner of Jones, as there's actually a Salvo that's just come out of the pits behind there. So that was Gabriel Gomez, who's come out just behind Jones. Carr is all over the place, and Willows actually comes out behind Gal. Actually, I didn't realise how close he was. So Gal has actually jumped Willows. He's done the overcut. Carr at the moment is struggling all over the place in front. So but he needs to. Well, he's got past Jones, but Jones is trying to overtake him. Now Gomez is trying to overtake. Gomez is trying to overtake Jones, and he does. No, he doesn't. Sorry. But the gap is about 3 seconds, and Gomez is through. And is he going to try and sneak through past Carr, who is running wide there? And Gomez, is he going to try and make a move on the inside? No. Yes. No. It doesn't quite. It sticks behind. But obviously, Willers has actually got past Gal almost immediately, so that was extremely quick. So I was not expecting that. So finally, I think Rolomoichin has come in for wet tyres as De Rosa's car does get pushed away. Well, it has been pushed away for the past, I think, couple of laps or so. Now Gomez is trying to get past Carr once again. Coming through Max Beckett's can't get through. But of course, this will help Willows behind. He's actually not that far away. He's closing up. So Willows is closing right up to the back of this, to the back of Carr. So I have no idea right now what is going to happen, because the gap's now down to 1.7. So Willows is definitely back in this race. And I wonder how far back Gal is, actually. But Willows got past Gal just so quickly, much more quickly than I ever would have imagined. As we look at the cars coming through Vale into the final couple of corners. And you can see Willows just in the background there. There's Gal just about sticking. So this was the move that Willows made to get past Gal. He was on the back of him immediately coming out of the pits and just had the momentum and just went past Gal just like he wasn't there. It was very, very easy. I was expecting Gal to maybe put up a little bit more of a fight than he did, but he didn't, unfortunately. So there we go. And now Mackenzie is on the back of the Force India of Rolomoichin, who's just come out of the pit. So you expect Moichin to be quick, but as Mackenzie's going to try and make a move on the inside, is he going to make it stick? Ooh, not quite. And he's finding actually. Oh, Willows has taken the lead. Willows has passed Carr for the lead, and there we go. Willows is through. And so how this happened on the straight, was it? So he goes past actually Gomez there in the Sauber, and there's actually Carr way out in front, who is just all over the place. And Willows obviously gets past. And does he go around the outside of Carr? The answer is yeah. He just lets him through. Must have been team orders there, maybe. But Willows is through. Now Carr is still struggling to defend from Gomez and Jones. And oh, there's nearly contact there. As now Jones and Jones, they make contact. Jones and Gomez make contact, and Gomez's race goes from bad to worse. And unfortunately, he's had to pit again. It's just not been his day, unfortunately. You really got a feel for the guy, and because Carr just seemingly can't drive. Now Jones was trying to make a move on the inside of Gomez, saw the gap, and then I think Gomez just kind of came in on him really. So I think that was Gomez's own fault really. Now here is Volk, who's actually on the back of Gal, who's seemingly struggling on those wet tyres. He's been on them a few laps now, and they seemingly, I guess he's maybe worn them out already. But Volk is going to try and go around the outside, is he? Coming through Stowe, and he's going to try it, but no, not going to make a stick. Gal holds on and keeps the position there, so not going to work out for him. Now, as we're looking at the German coming through, and actually I don't think they're that far away from the Ferraris out in front, so actually we could have a big top four battle here, as now Willows is all over the place and Titkov is in front, of course Titkov, the guy who of course technically should be out of this race, but he isn't. So he's a bit of a curse, it seems, on this race, because he hasn't retired. He should have done when he had that engine failure, but he was actually pitting anyway, so one of the rare things that you ever see. So Willows, when trying to lap him, just doesn't, and then backs off. I mean, there's no one else actually near Titkov at all in front of him, so there's a big gap. So Willows, again, you've got the blue flag, obviously, you just can't get through. So here we go. Carr now on the back of Willows for the race lead. This is definitely not over. Meanwhile, I've just seen Lopez has got past Byrne for 6th. This is the battle for the race lead between the two Ferraris, and is Carr going to get back through? Yes. So Carr takes the lead back, or does he? No, Willows gets it back. So Willows takes the lead, but of course Gal and Volker are going to be right behind because they hold each other up so much. And look at it, there we go. It's now a top 4 battle for this race win. It's Carr, Willows, and then Gal and Volker. And look at the run Gal's got off the corner. Gal might try and make a move on Willows here. Volker's going to try and make a move on him. It's going to be just about 3 wide. And Gal is through, I think. Is he past one of the Ferraris? Can he get past 2? He gets past Willows, and Volker, I think, is going to get past Carr as well. And he does. So now Willows leads, but for how long does he lead for? Gal is now right alongside. Is he going to have the run off the corner? No. He stays behind Willows. So Willows keeps the lead of this race. Gal is in 2nd. Volker is in 3rd. And Carr is in 4th. And wow, what a race this is turning out to be. and Willows just not got around the corner. Now will Gal try and make a move? Volker is there as well. Willows moving all over the road, and oh, I thought there was contact there. That was very close. They're almost pushing each other through. Maggots and Beckett's the top 4 here. And as they come through, look at it, it's almost Gal trying to go around the outside nearly, coming through Maggots and Beckett's. That's not going to work. And now Volker trying to get past Gal once again. And will Gal try and make a move on the straight? Surely he's going to have a go. And as we look at... and now Hutter's actually... Look at that. Hutter has actually gained to these guys because they've held each other up so much. Hutter is now in this fight for the lead. So who knows who's going to win this race at this point. Hutter is there. And as we look at the rest of the cars coming through. And now... Willow's just about making it through the corner. Gal can't get through at the moment. He's just all over the road like a drunk driver. And so now Car's there. And as I said, Hutter is there as well. And Lopez actually is only 4 seconds away. So Lopez is surely going to get involved in this. Look at how slowly they're going along the straights here. And it's a 5-way battle for the lead. And it's surely going to be 6. Hutter goes through past Car into P4. And he's going to try and get past his teammate Gal at this point. And wow. So Hutter can't quite get past Gal. Carr is now down to P5. He was leading this race a few laps ago. And he's now down to P5. And Willows locks up, struggling on those tyres. He's all over the place. And now Gal's going to get past Volker. And Willows really holds him up. And Volker's through. And Volker's going to take the lead, is he? Yes. And Volker is through, up into the lead of this race. He gets past Willows. And that's great news for him. Because, as I said, the Ferrari seemingly just are all over the place. I don't know where Titkoff is. He's got so far out in front now. Because these guys have been just all over each other. This is quite an incredible battle, I have to say. But as you can see, just Volker goes around the outside. Willows can only just about get through the corner. He dives late and then just slows down. Then he nearly goes into the side of Volker. Now Volker is through, and this could be great news for Volker because he could win this race. As he's now going to surely get the gap if the Ferraris are carrying on struggling like they are. And whew, this is just quite good. I've never seen anything like this, but just look at all these guys. Look at all the amount of just overtaking there is, and look, there's a huge trail of cars behind now as well. Look, they've got lap trade. There's Lopez as well. There's Byrne even. So there's 7 cars that could even still win this race, and we've still got over 30 laps left. So, and Willows is going to go back. So Willows has actually just gone back past Volker. Willows passes Volker back. I don't even know anymore. I really don't know. Now here's the battle for third. This is between Hutter and Gal. So Willows still leading this race, but now they're actually coming back up to the manor in front of Titkoff, who is seemingly causing all these issues. And now Gal trying to go on the inside of Hutter for third position, and he can't do it. So, and now Lopez is there. So I wonder if Lopez could still get a decent result out of this race. And oh, here we go again. And so Willows gets a tail roll of the corner. Volker is now all over the back. Look how slow they're going. They're not even going probably about 150 miles an hour at that point, and down the straight there. But so Willows still leads. He's holding him up so much. And Volker's all over him. And so, as we're looking at Willows, you can see on board, you can see Titkoff in front of him as they're coming into Vale, and then coming out of Club. So into Vale, it's fine. He's right behind him there, and you can see Titkoff going wide, and then Willows just really can't get through. And then that's what is causing the problem again. So, and it just goes so slow coming under the straight. So now here we go again. So Hutter and Gal all over each other in the battle for third. Gal is through, back up into third, and now we're close back up to the leaders in front. And Carr is still there behind these guys, of course. And Lopez is there as well. I mean, I don't know who's going to win this race at this point. So Willows gets a really, honestly, just holding up Volker so much. He's going so slow. And Volker's going to be a sitting duck at this point, because look at the run he's got off the corner. Gal's surely going to go through, and he's on the inside, and Hutter's probably going to follow through as well because of the run. Hutter might even try and get past his teammate and go for 2 for 1. He's on the inside. Hutter might get second here. Does he go for it? It's side by side. I think he's going to make it. Is he? No. No, Gal just about holds it, but will Hutter get the run around the outside? And the answer is no, I think. And Carr actually got past Volker as well. So Volker, who was leading a few laps ago, is now down to 5th. And now he knows what Carr feels like. But Willows, once again, leading this race. But Volker down to 5th position. I honestly don't know who's going to win. Lopez is still there in 6th. Byrne is still just hanging on the edge there in 7th. Hoping that all these guys can just capitulate. And then he could come through and take the win. Imagine the scenes if that would happen. But, of course, they're all going to be pitching once more. The rain's still coming down heavily here at Silverstone. And this is just quite an incredible race. Look at this. They're one after the other coming through Maggots and Beckett's. Now here we go onto the Hangar Straight. And so Willow's still leading. Gal still ahead of Hutter. and who is then ahead of the Ferrari of Carr, who's then ahead of Volker, then Lopez, then Byrne, all in this battle for the race win because no one can seemingly drive. So Gal, he could try and dive it down the inside if he really wanted to, but Willers moves over, and now Hutter on the inside battling with Carr for third. And although I think Carl was trying to overtake, but I think he still kept the position, so Hutter's still in third. And there's Byrne just hanging on the back end of this big gaggle of cars. And so once again Willers leads, but look at this, the battle between the two Red Bulls behind Hutter and Gal side by side. And I think Hutter's through, he's now into second position. So now he'll go after, he's the next one to go after Willers in front. But will he try and go around the outside? Will he try and do what Volker did? Because that's how he took the lead. Gal trying to get back past Hutter, but he can't. So now Hutter into second place. Now he'll have a go. Now the only one we still haven't yet seen have a go is Lopez. And maybe even if Byrne can, God forbid, get through. Because look at that. Of course, there's two lap cars of Sontag and the other man of Jones. Now here we go. Look at the run. And now actually Hutter has taken the lead. Willow's got a terrible run out of the corner. He's lost 3 positions. So now Hutter leads. Gal is second. Carr is third. So now will they be able to get away? And will the cars behind Willows, will Lopez get through, and will Volker, Lopez and Byrne get through? Because now Willows is surely going to be a sitting duck. So here we go. Look, he's all over the place now. So surely, well, as I said, Hutter leads, and they can't believe it. Now Carr's right behind Gal in the battle for second, but as he's going to go on the inside car, and he takes second back, does he? It's still side by side between the two as they come through back to back. So that's allowing Hutter in front to get away. He'll be delighted with this. And it's still side by side, but Gal, I think, just keeps the position there. And that was incredibly close. And now the battle for fourth continuing on between Willows, Volker, and Lopez, and Byrne, and Sontag, and Jones, even though they're not in it. But let's just count them in it anyway, because it's fun. Now here is the battle for the race lead between the two Red Bulls. Gal is now trying to get past Hutter. Is he going to go around the outside here? And the answer is he might do, but he's not going to make it stick there. Hutter has the run through the corner. But this is just quite an incredible race this is. I just don't know what's going to happen. I've no idea who is going to win or what is going to happen. Actually, Hutter made a mistake there coming through the end of Maggots and Beckett's there. Goes a little bit wide. That's why Gal actually managed to gain so much in him, because Hutter had a bad run and made a mistake there. So if he can't do that if he wants to win this race. As I said, I don't know who is going to win this race. So here we go. Now Hutter has got the problems as well. So Hutter leads, but he's not getting away, unfortunately. So now here we go. Now Carr is getting through back on the inside of Gal. He takes second. He can't get past Hutter. But now Willers, who's still struggling, and he locks up and goes very wide. Surely that's going to be opportunity. Oh, Volker nearly goes into him, but Volker is now through. He goes up into fourth, and now he'll be able to catch up to the guys in front. Byrne is through as well. He's passed Lopez incredibly, and oh no! Oh, and Lopez has just gone into the back of Byrne. It was such an unnecessary collision, but that has just eliminated those two from a possible chance of, well, God forbid, a win. And so now, oh dear, I mean, Byrne is going to be furious with that. Lopez just ran into him, and Byrne, who was the next one to overtake, and actually Lopez, who was trying to prevent the Williams, and then just goes into him, brakes way too late, particularly in the wet, and then goes into the back of Byrne. Lopez loses his front wing, Byrne loses his rear wing. But I wonder now, actually, because they'll have to go into the pits, they'll probably try and go to the end. And here we go. So Carr is now going past Hutter. He got a better run off the corner, so Carr now takes the lead back that he originally had after the stop. And so unless Hutter tries to dive it back down the inside, and no, he doesn't. Gal gets through into second position, and it's just Hutter in front there. He's just almost just hanging around there, just watching these guys mess around with each other. Now here is Hutter, who's dropped down to third position, and now the battle goes on at the front. Carr leads, Gal is second, Hutter is third, Volker will be fourth. So I mean, this is just an incredible part of the race, really. I have to say, I've never seen anything like it, and we've still got 20 laps to go, and the weather's not going to get much better, so who knows what is going to happen from this race. I really don't know what is going to happen. And now here we go, the battle up front continuing. Now Carr is all over the back, I think. Is this a Titkoff in front of him? He's trying to lap the Manor. Will he actually be able to lap him this time? He's all over him, but he's got to be careful because Gal is there. Titkoff is all over the place, and oh my word, and Carr's through. And Carr finally passes Titkoff, and that means he's free, surely. Now the question is, will Gal be able to get through? Because if he doesn't, that will allow Carr to get away out front. So Carr has finally been freed as Gal gets overtaken, as Hutter dives down the inside and takes second. And now Willows is there, going to try and take the position back. But for Carr, that may have just helped him possibly win this race, because he's got past Titkoff, and he's now free of him. So, and oh, and now interestingly, of course, Lopez now comes to the pits. Well, he had damage actually anyway. So, Lopez comes to the pits now. Willow's trying to go around the outside of Gal, and he's not going to be able to make it stick. But Hutter's still all over the place because Titkoff is still there, but Carr is through. So, as I said, he's free. And, I mean, he's got to surely just take advantage of this and now win this race because the guys behind are still all over the back of each other. And it doesn't look like it's going to be changing anytime soon. And you can see Willow's almost pushing Gal through the corner there. And seemingly they're both struggling, really. As now Willis is all over the back of him. Now Volker's going to catch up here. And look at the momentum he's going to get off the corner. He's surely going to go past one of them. He's going to go past the Red Bull of Gal. And he takes that position very easily. Or does he? As Gal dives back down the inside. But Volker just about keeping it around the outside. And he'll keep 4th position. So the battle now rages on for 2nd. I think the battle for 1st is done. But Gal drops down behind Volker. But, I mean, there's so many drivers that have led this race at this moment in time. I mean, it is just ridiculous in these past, 5 laps or so. Now Willow's diving down the inside. Is he going to make it stick? And the answer is no. He can't make it stick there through Hutter, but now that will allow Volker behind to gain as well, as Gal is struggling and is losing momentum by the minute. So we're looking through the rest of the order. So there's Byrne, obviously Lopez in 8th and 9th. They're way behind here, but they'll catch up very quickly because they're still continually battling all over each other. Now Willows is going to try on Hutter on the inside here for 2nd position. Now Willows on the inside, coming down the hanger straight, coming into Stowe, and this should be an easy move. And he does make it stick. There we go. And now I think they're coming up to the manor, and finally I think they've lapped the manor. So Willows is through. Now Hutter, is he going to try and make it through as well? He's on the inside of the manor, and surely this is the move done. And he finally makes it through, and so does Volker as well. So now the battle may rage on. So they finally got rid of Titkoff, who's been holding them up all this time. So now we'll continually see what happens towards the end of this race. But as I said, Carv has taken the biggest advantage of this, and he's well clear of these guys. So it's his race to lose now. I mean, there's still plenty of laps to go. But unfortunately for the Red Bull of Gal, who's still being badly affected and is struggling here. And it's not going well for him, unfortunately. And Jones almost runs to the back of him there. He's still all over the place. He's not managed to make it through, so I think Gal is probably out of winning this race now. I don't think he's got really much of a chance. Well, I say that. I mean, there's still plenty of laps to go, but at the moment, if he's going to go around like this, he's got no chance. I feel sorry for Etienne Jones, but he's had to suffer. Him and Sontag, actually, although Sontag is through anyway. So, as we look at Willows, actually, Willows has closed out rapidly to the back of Carr. I really thought Carr would still be further away, but I guess probably just all that chaos really he had with the manor is affecting his tyres. So he was clear, and actually oh, that's why he actually makes a mistake. So Carr, he was so far clear of Willows, and he actually spins it as well. And oh my word, that is quite something there. And he spins off, but he manages to recover and keep the lead. But as I said, I mean, Carr had such a big lead, and now unfortunately he's pretty much, well, he's eliminated the lead he had. Now that brings Willows back into the race. He'll be pretty annoyed at himself if that costs him the win. I mean, it's a bit like what happened with Willows last time out, really, and particularly with Carr leading his race so comfortably. He had a 7-second lead, and now that's now down to pretty much nothing. So that is very unfortunate for him. So now here we are looking at, this is, I think this is Lopez. This is on the back of now Tiranen, trying to overtake the Force India driver. Now he's just about alongside him, and he does get through, so he's now up into 7th position. So Lopez trying to regain all that time that he lost coming through into the Cobson. I mean, it was a good move actually. It was pretty easy. I mean, I haven't seen actually that many moves that we've seen before through there. But now here we go. So Willis is now on the back of Carr, and as I said, I mean, Carr, if he hadn't made that mistake, it could have been so much different. He's going to be kicking himself if this cost him the win. So now this is developed between the two Ferraris, between the two Brits as well, of course, for the win. And meanwhile, Volker has passed Hutter for 3rd position. So as we look at Volker, who's ahead, and now Willows, of course, who is all over the back of Carr, who is going to be making a move pretty soon. And he's going to be right behind him coming on to the pit straight. And here we go. Surely Willows is going to go for the lead. He's just about alongside Carr. And he's through, is he? Yes, no. No, I think Carr just about holds it, and he does. He just about holds the position there ahead of Willows, but this battle is definitely not over, and they've got to be careful here because, of course, I mean, who knows, Hutter and Volker could easily catch up if they're still holding each other up as much as they are. So as we look at them coming on to the hanger straight, and is Willows close enough to make a move on car is the big question. He is right behind him. Is he going to make the move? He's just not quite close enough. Because it'll all come down to the last pit stop. I mean, Volker's about, how far is he away? 5 seconds, although Car gets a poor run out of the corner. And actually Car is pitting, so there we go. So Car goes in, so his tyres were, I guess, pretty much dead. And meanwhile, Gal is still stuck behind the manor of Titkoff. He really, really doesn't like that. Oh, and what happened there? So there's a big gaggle of cars going through Magnussen and Beckett's there. I don't know if Roker just overtaken somebody, but I don't know what's going on here. They're all stacked up behind each other as a now Turin almost pushing the Sauber out the way there. Roker is actually up into 6th at the moment. I think Titkoff is finally coming into the pit, so I think Gal might finally be free of that pesky Russian. And so, but he's, as I said, it's pretty much eliminated any chance he's got of winning this race. Now here's Lopez in 7th position. He's now trying to go after Roke in front, as Byrne is there as well, trying to recover positions too. As now Tiernan goes on the inside of the manor. This car that's gone wide just in front. And no, it wasn't a manor, it was a Williams, sorry, that's gone wide. That was Sontag, who seems to be all over the place too. So it's still going on. I thought it would be all over now that he's in. But Byrne is going to now go past Lopez. And Byrne is now going to attempt to go past the Williams. He's now trying to go on the inside. And is he going to try to get stick? Nope, Sontag's still ahead. But Lopez, unfortunately, being held up badly by Sontag, who himself is now all over the place. Titkoff comes out of the pits. Who's going to be ahead? Is he of Mackenzie? Nope, he's going to be behind him. So Titkoff, as I said, is in last. So he's going to get nothing out of this race. He's just a stain, really, on this race. But I think Gal's finally free. He can now get himself going. Car's come out in 4th. So the question is, of course, will Willows going in front? So Byrne is obviously through. And now finally Lopez goes past Sontag. But now Gomez is going to try and unlap himself. But he doesn't do it. So Sontag really now being the next stain, really. But now turning in 9th, there's Mackenzie in 10th, who's coming up to these guys. Roland Moichin, who's going to be pitting soon. I still don't know what the whole order is going to be like at the end of this race, really. I don't know what's going to happen. It's been just ridiculously crazy, this race. As now Lincoln Parner is in, and so is Joseph Willers. I think Joseph Willers responding, and oh, okay, that's totally normal. That was just, I mean, yeah, this race is just crazy, really. But so Willers now comes in. He's responding to, of course, the fact that Carl's pitted. So it's going to be a battle between the two Brits in the Ferrari of who is going to win this race. And I don't know what's going to... oh, hold on a second. Why is Willers changing his wing? What's happened? Why is Willers changing his wing? I didn't see him get any damage. What happened there? So Willows has got... so, wait, did he get damage from... Oh, that's what happened. So Willows was about to go into the pits and collides with Campana in front of him as he was going into the pits as well, just moved over in front of him, and Willows had to change his wing. So that has just handed the lead back to Carr very comfortably. Of course, Hutter now takes the lead temporarily. Quite incredibly, Carr has just been handed what it looks like possibly the win on a plate. And I say possibly because, as I said, I don't know what's going to happen in this last bit of the race. But wow, as now here's Byrne, who's closing up to the back of Roke here, who seemingly struggling on these tyres. And now Lopez is there as well, trying to regain positions. So a big battle going on here, and it is continuing. I mean, this race, as I said, it's just been ridiculous. That's all I can say. Just absolutely absurd. And of course, now Tiernan's actually not that far away either, although he's actually lost a bit of time. But Byrne all over the back of Roke, and is he going to make the move on the inside here? And the answer is no, he can't. Although Roke goes significantly wide, so I think he might lose position here. Is Byrne going to try and go on the inside? But actually, Roke pitting this lap, actually, as a matter of fact, as they come out of Aintree, out of the loop. This part of the circuit's called. Byrne's going to try and make it on the inside, is he? No. But Roke is coming in this lap anyway, so I suppose. But Byrne's got to be careful because Lopez is right there as well. Lopez is going to try and make a move on the inside. He's got the run, and so Byrne is going to be done by Lopez here. Lopez on the inside, and he finally makes it through. And now he's going to go after Roke, but of course he needs to remember that Roke is pitting this lap, so he's not in this race. And actually, I don't know if Lopez actually has got enough fuel to go to the end. No, actually, I think he does. Byrne does. I think he's on there on about the same fuel, I should say. So, as we're looking at Byrne, who's dropped back behind Lopez, and as we're looking at him right behind Roke, coming towards Maggots and Beckett, all behind each other. And is he going to make the move stick? The answer is no, and he's lost a lot of momentum to Byrne behind him. Bit unnecessary to do by Lopez, so he didn't really need to do it. Wasn't necessary, but I think he's still got the run out of the corner. I don't think Byrne is quite close enough, although I think he's just about sticking in his slipstream, I think. But as long as he does that, it'll maybe drag them up to the cars in front. but as Lopez moving to the right a little bit, of course Roke will be going into the pits, he'll be going to the right. You can see how slow he's going, Roke. So you can see how it, oh, and wow, he nearly goes to the back of Roke there. Now that would have been an absolute disaster for Lopez. Would have eliminated any chance he would have of a decent points finish. But as I said, at the moment, Hutter leads, Volker is second, Carr is third, but of course Carr will take the lead once Hutter and Volker pit. And so Roke, as I said, is in. It's now getting dark, cloudy skies around Silverstone. So as we look at Titkoff, who's behind his teammates, and once again causing a nuisance for everybody. So I mean, I'm amazed that Jones actually is still not further ahead of Titkoff really, but of course I suppose he was held up behind that huge gaggle of cars about 10 laps ago, so I guess it's not really a surprise per se that this is happening. But as we're looking at Titkoff trying to make a move on his teammate here, he's all over the back of him. He's got a blue flag behind to, I think that is Roland Moitian in the Force India. So Titkoff is going to try and make a move onto the straight here. He's going to make it stick, and the answer is no. So he fails, as there's a pit call for now Tiernan, who's going to pit this lap. So, I mean, both Force Indians had a pretty quiet race. Moitian's just about hanging inside of the top 10 at the moment, so it looks like both Force Indians are probably going to get some points from this race. Roke just outside there, but who knows how this race is going to end. We've still got 13 laps to go. At the moment, Hutter leads by just 2 seconds ahead of Carr, who himself is right behind, actually, Volker, so I hope we get to that battle pretty soon. As we're going back to the field, there's Mackenzie, there's now Tiernan, Gomez, Byrne, Lopez, Gal, as we're heading towards, and now here we go. So now Carr is onto the back of Volker. Now Willows will want to hope that he holds him up, as Carr is on the inside, and is Carr going to make it through? And the answer is no, not quite, but this is going to hold Carr up quite a bit, and this is not what he needs. So this is good news for Willows behind, of course, as Volker just is all over the place. And is Carr going to go around the outside of him? The answer is no, he doesn't. And so he's just following Volker now. Surely he's got to get this done down the straight here, because if he doesn't, then Willows is going to be closing up pretty quickly, and he's not got a good run there, so it's good news for Hutter as well. And actually, look at that. Look how much Willows has closed up just by Carr getting held up there. Willows is now on the inside, and he takes third position, and what will be the unofficial lead of the race once he goes in. And as I said, Carr is going to be absolutely kicking himself. He's had many opportunities really to to be in winning positions, and so far he is throwing it away. So as we're looking at Willows, who's now on the back of Volker, we've got a number of pit calls as well. Sontag is in, and Willows launches it up the inside and takes the position, and that might be a race winning move right there, unless Carr can make it through now, and he can't. Volker holding him off, and Carr gets out of shape and gets a bad run through. And as I said, that might be the race winning move there by Joseph Willows, unless Carr can get through past Volker. But look at the amount of momentum that he's carrying off this corner. So I think Carr might make the move now, will he? Volker trying to move to the left, and he is, but Carr is on the outside there. And is Carr going to go around the outside? I think he might do. And the answer is yes, he does. So Carr goes around the outside, so he needs to get it done then and there. Otherwise the race would have been officially over for him. But the question is, can he close up to Willows, who's actually on the fresher tyres and has a new wing too? So at the moment it's not all working in his favour. But here we are looking at Etienne Jones, who's being lapped here with 11 laps to go. Unfortunately for Jones, it's been a pretty nightmare race, as there goes Roke by as well. This is a battle for ninth position between Roke and Moitian, but I think Moitian's actually pitting this lap anyway. As Roke trying to make it through past the full senior coming through Magnussen Beckett. It's not going to work, and so he doesn't, as it doesn't need to do it because he's coming in anyway. So now Hutter is in for his final stop, and Gabriel Gomez has received a 10-second time penalty because of the incident with De Rossa. Not really a surprise there, a bit late, but better late than never. Ready, but that is that confirmed. So Gal comes in for his final stop of the race. I thought it was Hutter, but it was actually Gal. But unfortunately for Gal, it was a disappointing race for him. I think he'll get a top 5, but that will be about it. That's about all he'll get. So out of the pits he comes. There's another couple of cars that's set to come into this pit as well. Mackenzie is in, and so is Moitian. So Roke moves up a few positions. So at the moment, Gal, he's behind Byrne. I'm pretty sure Byrne actually doesn't have to pit, so I think Gal will have to do some overtaking on track if he wants to get a top 5 out of this race. He does come out ahead. The good news for him is he does come out ahead of Titkoff, so he doesn't need to worry about him. He can just go for it for the last 10 laps of this race. As now Tiernan makes a little error there, just about keeps it on the road. Mackenzie comes out in 10th. Chung is going to come out. Is going to stay on track and inherit 11th. So here is Willows, and actually Willows has already caught up to Hutter, and I think Willows has already passed Joel Hutter, so it's looking pretty good for Willows at this moment in time. And look at that, just gets through once again through Cops, and he has got it done and dusted just like that. So Carr needs to get this done now, because the gap is at the moment looking pretty assailable for Willows up front. Now Carr needs to get this move done. He's on the inside, is he? Nope, he can't make it stick here. Hutter's holding him up. He needs to get through past the Red Bull right now. He gets a poor run off the corner, and now Carr is through. So Carr overtakes Hutter for second, and now the question is, can he go after Willows? I'm not sure if he can, but this is his only hope, so he's got to go for it now. Volker's in for his final stop for Mercedes. So into the pits he comes, and we will see what is going to happen. I said I don't know what the finishing order is going to be after this race, but we will see. I mean, because it's just been, I mean, who knows what is going to happen in the last 10 laps. Just anything and everything has happened. So, yeah, I don't know what is going to happen. So, Volker now finally comes out of his pit box. He is going to be, I don't know if he'll come up behind Lopez, actually. I'm pretty sure he should be ahead, because I'm pretty sure Lopez is way behind. If not, then, as you know, he's not. So, this could be close, actually, between the two Mercedes here. But I think Volker, even if he does come up behind, will probably overtaken very quickly. So where is the other Mercedes? Has he come out of the pits yet? And the answer is he has now. So he comes out behind Lopez, but does come out ahead of Evan Byrne in the Renault, who's done a pretty impressive job, I have to say, running in the top 6 again, and performed very well. As Nel Sontar going around the outside of Jones, once again coming around slow. He's done that to his teammate, and now he's done that to Jones. So fair play to Sontar. Certainly not afraid to make some overtaking moves, both in the wet and the dry. So there's Titkoffer's head, who is still running despite having an engine failure in 18th position, which is just, again, just bizarre, really. But hey ho, as we're looking at the rest of the order going through, Willows at the moment leading. Carr, it doesn't look like he's closing at the moment. I think Willows is extending the gap, so it's looking pretty good for him right now. But, well, I suppose the good news really for Ferrari out of all this is that it's going to be a 1-2, I think. So as now we're looking at Volker, who's already closing up to the back of Lopez, so I think he'll get past him pretty quickly for P4. And you can see, look at how much he's closing the Maggers and Beckett's. Look at the grip that Volker has got. Quite incredible. And, yeah, he's going to get past him now, really. I don't think Lopez is going to bother holding him up. Is he going to try and go around the outside, is he? I'm not sure it's going to work necessarily, but no. Is he going to still try and go around the outside, maybe? Yes, no. I know he is going to try and go around the outside, but he's not got the run off the corner. So now he's going to surely go around the inside. He's going to go around the outside. He's going to have the run. And, oh, he makes contact with Lopez. And I think he's through. And yes, he is. So that's one way of doing it. But Volker really couldn't afford to be held up much longer. And he moves up into the top 4. So I don't know if he'll close up to Hutter. I'm not sure how far ahead he is. I think it's possible, but it's going to be interesting anyway. But as I said, so the moment the order is Willows first, Carr second, Hutter third, Volker fourth, Lopez in fifth. That is the top 5. Byrne is in 6th. 7th is Gal. 8th is Rote. 9th is now Turner. And 10th is Mackenzie. But of course, that is just not how it's going to finish the end of this race. I mean, we've still got 9 laps to go. And there are still cars coming into the pits. Gomez is in, but he's out the points anyway. So here we are looking at Willows, who's coming up to some lap traffic ahead. The good news is for him is it's not a Manor. I believe that was an Sauber, I think it was, in front of him. As we see, obviously Gomez is in. Battle, this is for 13th. This is between Roberto Gamba and Enis Parachki. So, and Roberto Gamba is going to go past Parachki very, very quickly indeed. Now here is Willows, who is coming up to lap this car ahead of him. Look at how wet it is getting now. Lapping the Sauber. And he goes around the outside. Chung is in as well for her final stop. Now here we are looking. Now this is actually Joel Hutter, of course, who's coming in for his final stop of the race. As he's coming, heading towards the Maggots and Beckett's. So, I think he'll still have a chance of a podium, I'd say, really. As we look at Jones there coming through, there's Parachki, there's Tomaselli. I mean, Parachki's just getting overtaken left, right and centre, just seemingly got no grip on those tyres at all. And gets overtaken once again, as we've got a yellow flag out on the circuit. And who is that? And it's in... Oh, no, it's Hutter! No, it's Joel Hutter! Oh, the second we swapped away from the camera, he had a problem. I'm gutted for him. He looked set to get a podium, but he is going to get absolutely nothing. That's great news for Florian Volker. That hands him the podium. That hands him P3. And I suppose he would have overtaken Hutter anyway, because didn't realise he had to pit, but unfortunately for Hutzer, he is going to get nothing. It was such a promising race for him. He was actually leading at some points, but unfortunately the Ferraris got through really, and it was not going to work for him. So it was unlucky, but I really feel for him. He should have had at least a top 4, top 5 from this race, and he's going to get nothing. So here we are looking. This is the battle for 8th position. This is Jay Mackenzie, who is on the back of now Tiranon in the Force India. Now he's going to try and make a move on the inside as we're down the hanger straight coming into Stowe. He's not going to make it stick there. Is he going to go around the outside? He is going to have a go, but he's not going to make it through. But I think he's going to have the run off the corner. And yes, he does. Goes past now Tiranon very easily. That is P8. And now he'll go after George Roke in the Haas, who's just in front of him there for P7. So Mackenzie trying to get some points positions in the last few laps of this race. We've only got 7 laps to go of this race, so this is going to be 6 laps technically. Now here we are. This is the battle for P5. This is Gal, who's caught up to the back of Byrne, who I think he's been on the longest on these tyres. He probably would have gone a bit longer if not for the collision that he had with I say the collision that he had with Lopez, or with Lopez running into the back of him, I'll say. But this is the battle for the top 5. So Gal will want to certainly get at least that from this race. So the question is, can Byrne hold on? It's going to be tough, but who knows, as there's Parechki in a battle. But Gal right behind Byrne. Look at the all the spray that he's getting behind him. So, and he's going to try and make a move as Gal. He's in the slipstream. Not going to make it stick here. But he's going to try it into Magnussen and Beckett, is he? He's all over the back of the Irishman. And is he going to make it stick here? The answer is no. And he's going to lose a bit of momentum. And so now he is going to have to wait until the back straight. But I mean, look at the run he's got through, actually. Is he still just about in the slipstream? I think he is. He's got a good run, actually, over Byrne. So surely this is the move that Gal is going to have to get done right here and now. And he's trying to go around the outside. Is he a Byrne? Is he going to make it stick? And the answer is no, he doesn't. Or does he? He's going to try it again, but Byrne holds on and holds 5th place. He is not letting it go, as Lopez actually is in. I was right, actually. I thought Lopez didn't have enough fuel to go to the end, and I was right, he didn't. So that's a big mistake by Mercedes, and it's going to be very interesting with regards to the points as well, as Mackenzie has got past Roke and is up into P7, which will now be P6 now that Lopez has gone in. But Mercedes have made a big error there. I thought Lopez had the same amount of fuel as Byrne had, but I was wrong, so not good for Lopez. But wow, so I mean that is, I think, Gal up into P4 now. No, sorry, he's still P5, I should say. Mackenzie is obviously 7th. Now, I'll be interested to see, actually, where's Lopez come out of the pits? He's come out actually behind Mackenzie. And so, yes, this is now the battle for P4. So, Byrne is now trying to hold on to what would be an amazing top 4 for Renault. Gal will now want a top 4. Lopez has come up behind Mackenzie, but it'll be so much quicker. And, oh, never mind. And Gal has got a problem. And Nicolas Gal has got an issue. And I think it's going to be a double retirement for Red Bull. In the last 4 laps, both cars are out. Unbelievable scene. So that is great news for Byrne. He's free of Gal. But of course, unfortunately for him, he'll have Lopez, who will be very quick if he can get past Mackenzie. Although Mackenzie himself, actually, has shown impressive pace at the end. So at the moment, Byrne is still in P4, but Mackenzie is 5th now. So, I mean, it was only a few laps ago. I think it was only like, 3-4 laps ago. Mackenzie was like 10th. And now he's up into 5th. And he could even get 4th here. But it depends if Lopez can get through as well. So I'm very interested to see how the end of this race is going to pan out. So, as a very unfortunate for Gal, who's I think stuck behind Byrne for too long. That's had an effect on the engine. So that is his race over. Very much unfortunate for the Hungarian. And very much unfortunate for Red Bull too. Because, I mean, they were having such a good race. It was looking so promising for them. And unfortunately now they are getting precisely zilch from this race. So that is that as far as we are concerned. So Gal is out, and the question is, what's going to happen in the last 3 laps? Who is going to finish in the top 5? And wow, so but there's Gal out. So here we go. So now Lopez on the back of Mackenzie. This is for P5. Byrne actually is seemingly quite clear of this battle, as Willis is now trying to get through all this lap traffic. As now here's Tomaselli going past. This is Roberto Gamma for 10th, who will snatch the final point away from the Italian. So good move there by the Italian passing the Italian. So now only 3 laps left of this race, and oh, look at this! Willis is really in the worst possible position there, and then he goes into the back of the Manor. Oh no, it's tipped off again. Oh dear. So this is not good. He needs to get past this pesky Manor very, very quickly. And so he's going to go around the outside. Any problems? No. And he goes around the outside, and he finally does it. And so there we are. He is through. And so he's finally cleared Titkoff, and that should be it, really. As now Gomez is going to go past Titkoff. So he's on the inside. This should be an easy move. And he's through. So there's a car, actually. He's dropped quite far away, but as I said, it looks like it's going to be a Ferrari 1-2. And at the moment in time, and Lopez actually has passed Mackenzie. He's actually passed Mackenzie for P5. So I wonder actually if he'll be able to catch up to Byrne. He's going to be by far quicker than him in the last 2 laps. So Mackenzie unfortunately couldn't quite do his teammate the favour that he wanted. So Lopez is through, and he manages to just make it through there through Cops and just past Mackenzie. So now here's the battle for 7th place. This is between Roke and now Turin. So there's still battles going on as Roke trying to hold off the Haas, but now Turin gets the run off the corner, and that is very well done. So now that is 7th for him. And so Roke unfortunately dropping down the order a little bit, and Byrne obviously coming onto the straight, and Lopez is there. So yep, the battle is going to be on for 4th position on the final couple laps of this race. And well, actually I think it's going to happen now, because look at how much he closed through that corner, and Lopez is already there. So here we are. Byrne is struggling badly on those tyres. They're pretty much dead, I think. So I really don't think he's going to be able to hold on for much longer. And as we go through the loop, now through Aintree, coming on to the back straight, and Lopez is going to try and go for it on the inside, is he? No. He can't make it stick there, but he's just going to be a sitting duck. And I think Mackenzie could get him as well, because he's just so slow. Lopez on the inside. This is going to be an easy P4, and he's through. So he's now past Byrne, and Mackenzie is right there as well. So Mackenzie could even get himself a top 5 from this race when he looked to be pretty much nowhere. But Byrne is really struggling here in these last couple of laps, and I wonder what's going to happen behind, because as I said, Mackenzie's going to be all over him. I don't think now Turin's hugely there's a huge gap behind, so I don't know. But Byrne, you can see he's just missing the apex. He's really struggling. Look at how wet it is now. But how far away now? He's about 4 seconds. I don't know. But Mackenzie trying to sneak through, and he does. Does he? Has he made it stick? It's still side by side. They're really going slowly through Baggins and Beckett's. He's through, and so Mackenzie's up into P5. So Byrne, unfortunately, who looked to be getting P4, is dropping down the order. The tyres are gone on that car. And so Mackenzie up into P5. He'll be pretty happy with that. He was, as I said, only a few laps ago, probably less than 10 laps ago, he was about 9th. And now he's somehow going to get, it looks like a top 5 in this race, Mackenzie. So that is quite incredible. So, wow. But Byrne, unfortunately, you got a feel for the guy though. But the tyres have reached the end of their life, and now Byrne is under pressure. He's now got Tiernan behind for 6th position. So he could drop even further down, and Roke's not too far away either, despite being overtaken. So, I mean, this is just turning into a nightmare for Byrne. So we're now on the final lap of this race, of course. So, of course, Willows leads by a very comfortable margin ahead, as Byrne is just, look at how slow he is. And so now Tiernan, I think, is through, is he? Yes. So now Tiernan takes 6th away, and Byrne, he could even drop down to 8th at this point. It's just going from bad to worse for him. Just got no grip on those tyres, as now Moichin is lapping Sontag there. Now Roke is all over the back of Byrne. This is for 7th. Is he going to make the move through Copse? He's just about trying to get alongside, and Byrne moves over there. He's not letting Roke through. He's not letting another position slip from his grasp. And Roke's still trying to get through. Can he squeeze through coming through Beckett's and Beckett's? I'm not sure. No, he can't. And I don't know where the traffic is, but I think they'll still have the leaders. No, they're well behind, so they will have one more lap to have the to carry on the battle. But at the moment in time, Wills is your race leader, and it's set to be a British 1-2, and it's been quite an incredible race. I mean, that whole thing with Titkoff was just bizarre. Probably one of the most bizarre moments I think in OC history, really. But crucially, as I said, for Willows, for him and Carr, it looked like Carr had the victory. I think he probably would be annoyed he hasn't got it, because he had many opportunities and he blew it, really. I think probably Willows may have still won it anyway, because his pace has been so good. But I think Carr still could have made it harder for Willows, and it could have been still a bit of a more interesting battle than it was already for the race win. But as Willows is set to come through Stowe for the 52nd and final time, and it looks like it is going to be victory for him in front of the adoring British crowd. It's going to be a British 1-2, which is even better. And so it's going to be a great day overall here at Silverstone, and particularly for Willows, and particularly for Carr as well, who will of course take advantage of the championship. But here comes Willows. He comes through and he wins the British Grand Prix. What a performance! Well done to Willows. And that was just, once again, an insane race. So Willows wins. Gomez across the line of 50. Sontag way down the order as well. Unfortunately, not the race for him. Carr will take second across the line. So that is, I said it'd be pretty disappointing. I don't think he's not won this race, but second is still pretty good, ahead of his rival Lopez, who's down in fourth. Chung just misses out on points there. Volker will take third. I think he'll be pretty happy to at least get that. Titkoff 17th, Gamba 12th. There's Parachki in 13th position. But Tomaselli also did well actually to get a point out of that, overtake Roberto Gamba near the end. Parachki had a pretty anonymous race, not seen anything of him right there, but he now comes across the line and he will take 13th position, the unlucky number 13. Now here's Franco Lopez, who is set to take 4th position for Mercedes. He'll be pretty gutted that, Mercedes didn't fuel him to the end. It could have had 3rd, but 4th was probably about as best it was going to get. He'll take 4th, so he's across the line. So Jay McKenzie, fair play to him, he will get 5th position. It looked like he was going to get, well, not much from this race. Less than 10 laps ago, he was at the outskirts, just inside the top 10, and now he's somehow got 5th position. So fair play to McKenzie. Great performance in the wet. He'll take P5 as he comes across the line. So there we are. As we go, oh no, and Evan Byrne, oh no, and oh, it's Roke, isn't it? And they've had a collision on the last lap. We haven't seen many collisions here, but on the last lap, Roke and Byrne have had a collision, and Byrne is out. I think he'll still get points, but he was running in 4th a few laps ago, and now he's going to get, well, I think 2 points. But Roke was on the inside, coming into Stowe, and then, oh, I mean, I don't really think you can blame Roke for that. I think it was just one of those things. I mean, Byrne was going to try and defend, of course, that 7th position, and I mean, Roke tried to steer in the corner. But you've got to feel for Byrne, though. You really do. He was running in 4th, but the tyres just gave up on him, and he just couldn't defend. So Roke will keep 7th position, or will get 7th position, I should say. Moyton actually will take 8th, and I think Tomaselli was lapped, so I think Byrne will still finish in 9th position, I believe. So that should be it, as Moyton got across the line. Yep, so Byrne will still get 2 points, but he'll have wished it could have been so much more. But here's the race results here after the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Joseph was winning ahead of Armakar 2nd, Florian Volker 3rd, Franco Lopez in 4th, Jamie McKenzie 5th, now Turner 6th, Roke 7th, and Roland Moyton in the last car lead lap in 8th, with Byrne and Thomas Lee complete the points in 9th and 10th, despite Byrne of course not finishing. Laura Chung just outside the points in 11th position. Armakar actually was the one who set the fastest lap as well, 128.7. Roberto Gamba 12th, Parechki 13th, Campana 14th, Sontag moving ahead of Gomez due to Gomez's 10-second time penalty, Titkoff 17th, Jones 18th, and Gal still classified despite his retirement, with Joel Hatter, Girosimo de Rossa and Franco Gamba the cars who did not finish this race. So there we go, that was race standings. Now we'll take a look at the drivers and constructors standings. So Carr extends his lead over Franco Lopez in 2nd place, and Volker actually, you can see, only 9 points behind, and Willows actually getting himself back in the hunt for 2nd, maybe the title, I don't know. In 4th, Hutter 5th, Gal 6th, Gamba 7th, Roke 8th, Moichi 9th, Thierry now Turner and McKenzie moving up to 10th and 11th with their points finishes. Byrne, Tomaselli, De Rossa and Chung all losing positions. Then Sontag is 60th, Roberto Gamba 17th, Gomez 18th, Campana 19th, Parechki 20th, Jones 21st, and Titkoff still the only driver from this race yet to score any points, and probably a lot of drivers will say, I wonder why. But now we'll finally take a look at the constructors' standings. After Silverstone, the Ferrari still lead, and Mercedes just less than 25 points behind. Red Bull on the run in 3rd position, Haas doing a pretty good job in 4th, ahead of Force India in 5th, Renault in 6th, McLaren on the same point to Sauber in 8th, Toro Rosso in 9th, Williams in 10th, and Manor, who have only 1 point this season. Whew, well, that was the British Grand Prix. That was quite something, wasn't it? So anyway, thank you for watching, everyone. Of course, Driver of the Day and race rating has already been done. We'll see you for the next round of the German Grand Prix at the Hockenheimring. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.